Hi everyone, welcome back. So as promised, we are starting with permutations and combinations questions from this video. And in this video, I'm going to cover questions from 2015 to 2019. And in next couple of videos, I will cover for rest of the P&C questions from 2019 to 2023. And as you know that, there are large number of questions, and in fact, this topic has become extremely important. You know that 23 was almost dominated by permutations and combinations questions. So this is a very important topic from CSAT's perspective. So please go through all the videos that I'm going to release, because I am going to discuss each and every question with the underlying concept and not only solve it. So let us start with the first question. 12 people form a club. 12 लोगों ने एक क्लब बनाया. By picking lots, one of them will host a dinner for all once in a month. Means by lottery they will select one person, and that person will host a dinner for all the rest of the members once in a month, and this process will repeat every month. So the number of dinners a particular member has to host in 1 year is, right? And we know that in 1 year there are 12 months from 1 to 12, right? And there are 12 people. So because they are picking lots, right, there might be a person, because they have not said that that once that person has given the dinner in the first month, he will not be considered for the next subsequent months. ऐसा तो कुछ बताया नहीं गया है, right? That means all the 12 people can be assumed to be part of the lot for all the 12 months. So in that situation, it becomes completely random, right? All the 12 months, it might be the same person. So he may have to host 12 dinners, or a person may not get into the lot at all, so it can be 0, right? So it can be anywhere between 0 to 12. So nothing can be said about it. And even if we assume that the person is not considered, then the answer is only 1. But there is a little bit of ambiguity. I will not be really happy to read this question, because there is underlying assumption in that, right? So finally UPSC has given the answer that cannot be predicted. That means this logic is correct. That means they have assumed that a person is considered again and again. Those are 12 people for all the 12 months as a part of the lot. And that's why nothing can be said about how many times a particular member has to host in 1 year. That's the answer, option number D. Let us go to the next one. A selection is to be made for one post of principal and two posts of vice principal. So there is one post of principal and two posts of vice principals. Amongst the 6 candidates called for the interview, only 2 are eligible for the post of principal. So out of 6, 2 are eligible for post of principal, while they all are eligible for the post of vice principal. So all of them are eligible for these 2 posts of vice principal. The number of possible combinations of selectees is. So in how many ways this selection can be done? Now this is, I would say, a simple question, because a principal can be chosen only in 2 ways, right? Because there are only 2 eligible candidates. So a principal can be chosen only in 2 ways. But once principal is chosen, you have a option of selecting 2 posts out of 5 candidates, rest of the 5 candidates. So your answer is 2 into 5c2. We know that 5c2 is 5 factorial divided by 3 into 2 factorials into 2. So this is 4 into 5, and this is 2. So this is 20. So 20 is the answer. That means none of the above. The only one thing which you need to remember is that you should not select 6 as the pool here while selecting the vice principal, because you need to select one person for the principal post, and there are 2 ways of doing it, right? So you will select 2 vice principals only from 5 candidates and not from 6 candidates. Let us go to the next one. There are 5 tasks and 5 persons. Task 1 cannot be assigned to either person 1 or person 2. Task 2 must be assigned to either person 3 or person 4. Every person is to be assigned one task. In how many ways can the assignment be done? Now, if you have seen the 2023 paper, this question is kind of repeated with little change. Okay, and there was a lot of confusion on that question. So if you would have done the PYQs and you would have solved this question from 2015, you would have solved that question in 2023 also. It is exactly similar question. 5 people, 5 tasks. Okay, and similar conditions. May not be same, but similar conditions. So what is the question? There are 5 tasks. So let us say the tasks are T1, T2, T3, T4 and T5. And 5 persons. Okay, P1 to P5. What are the conditions? Task 1 cannot be assigned to either person 1 or 2. तो ये P1 और P2 को assign नहीं किया जा सकता. Task 2 must be assigned to either person 3 or 4. So 2 must be with P3 or P4. Okay. Every person is assigned one task. So now if P1, P2 is not there, then T1 can be assigned only to P3, P4 and P5. Correct? Now, if you assign P3 here, you have to assign only P4 here. If you assign P4, because T2 has to be assigned only to P3 or P4. So if you assign P3 to T1, then T2 must be assigned to P4. If you assign P4 to T1, then this has to be only P3. And for P5, you can assign both P3 and P4. So there are, these 4 ways in which T1 and T2 can be assigned, right? Now this is P3, P4. So what is left with for assigning these 3 tasks? P1, P2 and P5, right? If you do this P3 and 4, then you are left with 1, 2 and 5. If you do 3 and 5, then 1, 2, 4. And if you do 5 and 4, then you are left with 1, 2, 3. So 3 people, 3 tasks. We know that this can be assigned in 6 ways, right? 3 factorial ways, which is 6. So with first line, there are 6 combinations possible because P1, P2 and P5 can be assigned to T3, T4 and T5 in 6 different ways. So this 6, this 6, this 6 and this 6. Total 24. So there are 24 ways in which this task can be assigned, right? I think it is fairly easy question, and we had a similar question in 23 also. Let us go to the next one. In a question paper, there are 5 questions to be attempted, and answer to each question has 2 choices, true or false. So for every question, it can be either true or false. It is given that no 2 candidates have given the answer to the 5 questions in an identical sequence. So there are 5 such questions, right? Everywhere these 2 options are there. They have said that for all the candidates who attempted this exam, no 2 candidates have given the exactly same answer to all the 5 questions, right? No identical sequence. For this to happen, the maximum number of candidates is, okay. Understand the question first. कि उन्होंने बोला है कि for every question answer can be only true or false, right? And there are 5 such questions. There can be only certain number of maximum candidates which can appear for this exam if all of them have to give the completely distinct answers, right? And that number is going to be the number of candidates, maximum number of candidates where the repetition doesn't happen, right? So no 2 candidates have given identical sequence to all the 5 questions. So now understand this. Let us understand this with only 2 questions, right? So if this guy says true, then there are 2 ways, and then if this guy says false, then there are 2 ways. So total ways for these 2 candidates for their answers to remain distinct is 4, 2 into 2, right? Because here there are 2 options, and for each of these options we have 2 options here. So that's how it works, 2 into 2. Now if you add a third candidate, right, so you already have 4 different combinations here, and then you have true and false here. So for all the combinations, this is one and this is another. That means you have to multiply this. So 2 into 2 into 2, 8 ways in which this can be done. Because for these 4 options plus these 4 options with false, 4 options with true, 4 options with false. The total number is 8, right? So if you actually continue to do that for 5 questions, then you have to multiply this by 2 and multiply this by 2. That means there will be 32 ways in which this can happen. Okay, so answer to this question is option number D, 32. Okay, understand this very clearly. And the way to really think about this is there are 2 options and 5 questions. So you will get 32 unique combinations. So as long as there are 32 candidates, the moment a 33rd candidate comes, there will be some repetition, okay, with one of the answer sheet. So maximum number of candidates with unique responses to all the 5 questions, combination of all the 5 questions will be 32. So that's your answer. Let us go to the next one. 4-digit numbers are to be formed using digits 1, 2, 3, 4, and none of these 4 digits are repeated in any manner. Now see, there are some questions which I'm solving by manual method, right? Because if you think too much of permutations and combinations formally, then sometimes it becomes very difficult to interpret because conditions are, there are too many conditions and you may end up, making a mistake in it, right? So I have included all such questions in this section which appear to be like permutations and combinations but can be solved by some manual simple calculations, and I'm going to follow that same method. क्योंकि कोई सेंस नहीं बनता है कि आप ज़बरदस्ती फॉर्मूला यूज़ करो. अभी यहाँ पे देखो, आपको 4 ही नंबर है, राइट, और इसमें इतने सारे कंडीशन दिए हैं. तो 4 नंबर से हमको पता है कि हमको 4 फैक्टोरियल दैट इज़ 24 मैक्सिमम नंबर बनता है. उसमें अगर हम ये सब कंडीशंस के नंबर इलिमिनेट कर दे, राइट, बिकॉज the question is how many different numbers can be formed by meeting these conditions. So if we actually eliminate all the numbers which satisfy these conditions, then we will get the answer, right? So we don't have to worry about कि इसमें combination है और permutation है or what it is. So that's the best approach, because most of the questions are not most necessarily, but many of the questions can be solved with the simple logic, and you don't have to worry about which formula to apply. How many, none of these 4 digits are repeated in any manner. Further, 2 and 3 are not to immediately follow each other. Okay, so 2 and 3 should not be next to each other. 1 is not to be immediately followed by 3. 4 is not to appear in the last place, and 1 is not to appear at the first place. How many different numbers can be formed? Okay, this is a 2016 question. So to solve this, I have actually repeated it on a blank screen. Only conditions here. इसको ध्यान से देखो. So as we have seen that there are 24 combinations possible, but let us go with this condition, right? 4 is not to appear in the last place. That means in the last place, or rather let me take the first place. So 1 is not to appear at the first place. That means first place में 2, 3 और 4 ही आएगा, right? Now if it is 2, then what are the combinations possible? 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, but 1 is not to be immediately followed by 3. So we do not want 1, 3. Here also 2 and 3 and 3 and 2 we do not want, right? Let me move this 3 and 4 little down, or we will write step by step then writing it. So 2, 4, 1, 3 I cannot take. Then I have 2, 1, 4, 3. Okay, then I have 2, 1, 3, 4. But 1 and 3 I do not want. Okay, so this is with 2. Then what are the combinations possible with 3? 3, 4, 2, 1. 3, 4, 1, 2. Then 3, 1, 4, 2. 3, 1, 2, 4. I do not want this because 4 is not to appear in the last place. 3, 2, 1, 4, not possible. right? 3 2 4 1, 3 2 4 1 is possible. Actually, none of this is possible. We should not take, because we don't want 3 and 2 at all next to each other, right? So there are only 4 combinations possible with 3. Sorry, 3 combinations are possible. This is not a valid combination. Here we have 2 combinations. This is correct, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct. Let us see what happens with 4. 4 1 2 3 I cannot take. 4 1 3 2 I cannot take. 2 3 3 2 I cannot take, right, because of this condition. So then 4 2 1 3 I cannot take. 4 2 3 1 I cannot take. 4 3 1 2 I think I can take. 4 3 2 1 I cannot take, because 3 2 I do not want. So that's all, right? So this is the only combination possible with 4. These are all wrong combinations. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So there are only 6 ways in which all these conditions can be achieved. Now, this is very easy question. You can easily do it. Just keep your mind calm and focus on eliminating these options, and you will get the answer. Answer to this question is option number A, 6. Okay, let us go to the next one. There are 4 horizontal and 4 vertical lines parallel and equidistant to one another on a board. 4 horizontal and 4 vertical. Okay, parallel and equidistant hai. What is the maximum number of rectangles and square that can be formed? Now, we know that all these are squares because they are equidistant line and parallel and vertical lines, horizontal and vertical lines. And then these are rectangles, right? For example, this is a rectangle. Now think of it carefully, that to form one particular box, right? Either it is an individual box or a box of 2 or a box of 4 or box of 6, whatever it is. What do you need? You need at least 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines, right? Then only a box can be formed. Here we have 4 horizontal lines and we have 4 vertical lines, right? 4 horizontal and 4 vertical lines. So to identify or calculate unique combinations, what we need to do? We need to find a number of ways in which 2 lines can be selected out of these 4 and 2 lines can be selected out of these 4. So 2 lines can be selected out of first 4 is 4c2 multiplied by 4c. That is going to be your answer. So 4c2 is what? 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial. This is 4. So this is 6, right? And then this is another 4c2. So I am going to multiply this by another 6. Answer is 36. That's your answer, option number C. Okay. Why I am teaching you in this way? Because it may not be 4 and 4. So there are many formulas. People say number of squares, number of rectangles. Squares you need to remember, right? Because here there are squares and rectangles both. So you can simply calculate this formula. I mean, use this formula. But if it is only squares, then you need to use the squares formula. A bag contains 20 balls. 8 balls are green, 7 balls are white, and 5 are red. What is the minimum number of balls that must be picked up from the bag blindfolded without replacing to be assured of picking at least one ball of each color? Now, if you have seen the 23 paper, you must have seen a similar question, right? Usme I think there are 175 balls wala question tha. Exactly similar question. If you would have solved this PYQ, you would have solved that question. और फिर हम लोग बोलते हैं कि परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन डिफिकल्ट है, राइट? सिर्फ PYQ कर लो, वही कंसेप्ट भी रिपीट हो रहे हैं क्वेश्चन. मतलब इवन इन 23 देयर आर क्वेश्चंस एटलीस्ट 2 क्वेश्चंस, राइट? पहले हमने जो वो देखा था प्लस दिस क्वेश्चन, they are totally repeated from PYQs. Okay. So what is the logic here? A bag contains 20 balls, 8 are green, 7 are white, and 5 are red. What is the minimum number of balls that must be picked up from the bag blindfolded? Okay, जबकि आपको पता नहीं है कि कौन सा बॉल आप निकाल रहे हो. What is the minimum number of balls that can be drawn and that should be drawn to be assured that you have picked at least one ball of each color? Okay. So obviously you will start with the highest number, क्योंकि आपको हर बॉल का हर कलर का एक बॉल चाहिए कम से कम. Suppose you pick 8 balls and 8 of them are green, then you pick 7 ball, then 8 all 7 are white, worst case scenario, and then you pick one ball that must be red. So here you will ensure that there is one ball of each color at least. Why you can't do other way around? Think of it, right? If you pick 7 plus 5 12 balls, right? These 12 balls can be green and white also, and you cannot be sure that a red ball has been picked up, right? I mean, why the answer to this question is not 12 plus 1 13 is because these 13 balls can be picked up from red and green and white, and your 14th ball also can be white. Okay, so this doesn't ensure, so you have to start with the highest number. Here you have picked 15 balls, so even if you have picked 15 balls, right, you are already, even if you picked all white and reds, you are already picked all white and reds, and then you have already in fact picked some green balls also, but only when you pick 16 ball you can 100% say blindfolded that key in my 16 ball there should be one ball of each color for 100%. I can be sure of it. Okay, so this is very important concept. 23 में ये repeat हुआ था. Let us go to the next one. If 2 boys and 2 girls are to be arranged in a row so that the girls are not next to each other, how many possible arrangements are there? Now simple, right? There are 4 people, out of which there are 2 boys and 2 girls. Now in how many ways these 4 people can be arranged? We know that it is 4 factorial, that is 4. So in 24 ways these 4 people can be arranged, but we do not want these girls next to each other. So think of it. Let us say these 2 are girls. We will consider these 2 girls as one unit. Okay, so this is boy 1, this is boy 2, and this is girl 1 and this is girl 2, right? So whenever these 2 girls are together, you will get this kind of arrangement. In how many such arrangements are possible? Now you are considering this as a one unit, so this is 3 factorial, that is 6. So out of this 24, in these 6 arrangements, these girls will be together, right? But there are 2 girls, and these girls can be G1 G2 here or G2 G1 here, right? So this is B1 B2 G2 G1. That is another combination of girls. So here you will get another 6. So there are 12 combinations out of this 24 where girls will be together. So if you do not want these girls to be together, then 24 minus 12 is your answer, option number C. If you understand basics of permutations and combinations, then this is not a very difficult question, but आपको अलग अलग तरीके के प्रॉब्लम देखना चाहिए, राइट? PYQ अगर आप देख के जाओगे सब, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि PNC भी आपको कोई डिफिकल्ट जाने वाला है. लेट अस गो टू द नेक्स्ट वन. दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. दिस इज फ्रॉम 2018. फॉर अ स्पोर्ट्स मीट, अ विनर स्टैंड comprising 3 wooden blocks is in the following form, right? तो यहाँ पे एक विनर होगा, यहाँ पे रनर अप 1 होगा, यहाँ पे रनर अप 2. There are 6 different colors available to choose from, and each of the 3 wooden blocks is to be painted such that no 2 of them have the same color. तो ये तीनों ब्लॉक को अपने को अलग अलग कलर से पेंट करना है. In how many ways, different ways that the winner stand can be painted? So basically you have this kind of blocks, right? Or you need to paint this from 6 colors where color should not be repeated. So how many options you have for the first block? 6. Once you paint the first block, how many options you have for the second? 5. How many options you have for the third once you paint the first two blocks? 4. That's it. 6 into 5 into 4. That's your answer, option number. Okay, very simple. Let us go to the next one. The number of parallelograms that can be formed from a set of 4 parallel lines intersecting another set of 4 parallel lines. This is exact repetition. If you remember, there they had said 4 horizontal and 4 vertical. Here they have said only parallel. It can be horizontal, vertical, doesn't matter, right? And number of parallelograms. Parallelograms कौन सा है? Yes, a parallelogram, right? Whose sides are parallel to each other. It can be this or it can be this. All these are parallelograms. And we have already solved this. So it is actually 100% repetition of PYQ. That's the importance of PYQ. CSAT आप अगर PYQ ठीक से करोगे तो हो जाएगा. Okay, if you really understand the concepts. So go back to that problem. If you don't know why I am doing this 4C2 into 4C2, you have 4 horizontal lines, out of which you have to select 2 to form a parallelogram. You have 4 vertical lines, not vertical, okay, but inclined or vertical or whatever, and then you have to select 2 of them, right? And we know that the answer to the 36. Okay? 4 factorial by 2 factorial आता है 6 आता है. So 6 into 6. Let us go to the next one. How many triplets x, y, z satisfy the equation x plus y plus z is equal to 6 where x, y, z are natural number? Natural number मतलब 1, 2 मतलब in this. Okay. So the numbers are more greater than 0 and they are all full numbers. The equation that is given is x plus y plus z is equal to 6. So what does this mean? That what are the 3 numbers whose sum is 6, right, and which are greater than 0? How many such combinations are possible? Isn't it very easy question? We know that it is 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. ये तो basic है. 2, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2. Right? We know that all these sum to 6. Then we have 4, 1, 1. Then we have 1, 4, 1. Right? And then last is 2. Anything else? No. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's your answer, option B. Okay. So here I want to highlight one, principle, okay, or rather a formula, because you can solve this by formula also. If you look at this question and say that कि तुम्हारे पास 6 books है which you want to divide among 3 students in such a way that each student gets at least one book. What does this mean? That XYZ cannot be 0 because each student has to get at least one book. So what are you doing here? You are basically dividing 6 at 3 different places where none of the place is 0, right? Every place is greater than 0. So if actually convert this problem into this problem, right, then a formula to solve this is n minus 1 c r minus, where n is equal to number of books or number of samples, R is number of students. Okay. So basically, if n similar objects are distributed among R people, n similar objects are distributed among R people such a way that each person get at least one object, then number of ways it can be done is n minus 1 C R minus. Okay. So now, here n is 6. So I am going to say 5 n minus 1 and R is 3. 5 C 2. 5 C 2 is 5 into 3 into 2 factorial. 3 factorial is 4 into 5. तो ये 3 factorial उठ गया, 2 हो गया, 10 हो गया. That's our answer, option number B. Okay. I hope you have understood this concept. There might be a problem using this concept. I don't think that there is a problem which has been asked. Let us go to the next one. Okay, done. I think we have solved around 10 problems in this. There are around 31 problems. I'll do probably 2 more videos and cover permutations and combinations. Keep watching, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We have been also releasing very good animated videos on geography, which will help you to solidify your fundamentals of physical geography. So please subscribe and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you in the next one.